who you are. But he's got you in this tight space right now to help you understand. Where I can rest in this position. Spence, I can watch this. I can weather the storm because it's raining, but the umbrella is keeping me dry. You know how it is when you're sitting in the inside and the storm is going on the outside. You're in the storm, but you're not in the storm. Somebody gonna get that when they get home. You in the storm. The storm is happening. The wind's blowing. The house is shaking. Stuff is happening. Trees are falling down. Your electricity is going off. You in the storm, but you're not in the storm. So to understand, sometimes you ought to just be thankful for the tight place that I'm in. It was because of this tight place that my character began to develop a little bit more. I learned some stuff about me I didn't even know about me. But it had not been for that tight place. That place that if I had the choice, I would have thrown in the towel. Honey, come a little closer. Aren't you glad you held on to the towel today? Because what's been produced from that place in your life, from that time in your life, not only do you have, watch this, what you need to make you through. Please understand this morning. You've got enough now to give to somebody else and to help them, but it was only because you was able to have the mind that this tight place that I'm in, what I do realize is God is at work. And when you realize that, you're able then to stand a little longer. You see, it's a mind thing. You know how when you set your cruise control in your car, your mindset says, my leg is not going to get tired from trying to maintain my speed. And then your mind says that I can cruise just a little bit longer now. Why? Because the work is not on me. I'm just able, watch this, to enjoy the ride. So sometimes it is necessary and beneficial that a praise comes out of a hard place. That you have a story that came from a hard place. That you live through it to tell somebody about that hard place. God be glorified for hard places. See, it's easy to enjoy it when everything is right. It's easy to praise it when everything going good. You can brag on him, tell folk about him, and do all of that when you're in a good place. But can I share this with you? The character of man is judged by how well he does things he does not like to do. See, it's easy for us to get in character and to do those things. We're able to maintain composure when we're doing things that we like to do. I didn't say right, I said like. Understand it? But character has to be developed, built. And sometimes it costs. Bless the name of the Lord this morning as we make ready now. We've been talking in the theme of connection. We're going to keep traveling in that, and I'm going to jump right over to the next Psalm. We're going to be calling your attention this morning to the 123rd numbers of Psalms. We've walked through 3 of the Psalms of Ascent. So this morning we're going to come on to walk right on into 123 Psalms, the 123rd number. Psalms, the 123rd number. All of 4 verses. Psalms, the 123rd number. Should be an easy find for us this morning. Amen. Amen. Are we there yet? Bless the name of the Lord. The 123rd numbers of Psalms. Verse number 1 says, unto thee lift I up mine eyes, O thou that dwellest in the heavens. Verse 2 says, behold, as the eyes of servants look unto the hand of their masters, and as the eyes of a maiden unto the hand of her mistress, so our eyes wait upon the Lord our God, until that he have mercy upon us. Verse 3 says, have mercy upon us, O Lord, have mercy upon us. For we are exceedingly filled with contempt. There is some stuff going on by some people and some vices. Verse 4 says, our soul is exceedingly filled with the scorning of those that are at ease, and with the contempt of the proud. Can I speak into your hearing this morning for about 25 minutes from the thought, my connection made me a target. My connection made me a target. Can I just go ahead and preach it how I feel this morning? If you are a Christian who seeks with your whole heart, let me just go ahead and tell you from the outset of this message, you are a target. You see, this message is for the believers who are experiencing a severe season of testing. So I'll just go ahead and call the roll this morning because this is everybody in the sanctuary. You see, I'm talking to those who's been enduring deep trials and are weary mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. You see, we live in a time of great stress when trials can come upon us suddenly and leave us overwhelmed, worn, and confused. Sometimes even you and I lose our way. We get frustrated with people. We get frustrated with circumstances. But you please remember this morning, it's not because of all that you got going on, but it's because of who you are in Jesus Christ. You see, I thank God for every Christian who right now is enjoying a season of good times. If your life isn't under great stress right now, and you don't have, watch this, trials and tests that are just beating you up from every side right now, I'm grateful to the Lord for providing you such a season in your life. I'm thankful that you are able to enjoy this time. Yet, we know from Scripture that storms and great trials come to all who have truly given their life to Christ. You signed on, and when you signed on, you also signed on to be a target for the rest of your life. When you decided that you was going to put it all on the field, that you was going to put all the skin in the game, you said to the enemy that I'm going to be your competition. I'm going to be fighting with you as long as I've got breath in this body. You essentially said to him that now I am, watch this, not only a target, but I was called to be a target. You essentially said to the other side, the opposing side, that I'm on the winning team now, and I'm going to play ball as long as I can. I'm going to play to the best of my ability. You see, many are the affliction of the righteous. Psalms 34 and 19. In other words, if you are hungry after the Lord, if you're determined to seek him with your whole heart, setting your mind and your soul to obey his word, you will continue to be a target of the devil. You will continue to experience the envy of the enemy. For centuries, great Christians have tried to probe the cause and the reason why the godly suffer. Can we just talk this morning? My personal library is filled with such books. You see, yet the answer seems elusive. Whenever I'm in the midst of a deep trial, I find it challenging that in that moment, it's challenging even for me and you to apply the truth that I've learned and we've learned because of our own anguished heart. You see, sometimes what you have on the inside will keep you, watch this, from getting to that place that you need to get mentally, to that place that you need to get in voice. You see, instead, I find myself praying, Lord, I have but drawn from your word what I need in this present time. You see, for many believers who go through trials, questions abound in the midst of these trials. Who am I talking to today? Lord, did I grieve you in some way? Is there something in my life that hinders me from hearing from you hearing my cry? You know, I've been faithful to your word, Lord. So why this never-ending trial? Why it doesn't seem like I can catch a break on this one? Lord, I've been paying my tithes. I've been going to the meet. I've been doing all of those. I've been helping everybody that I can. I've just done my very best, and I seem to not have any answers. Your word says that you won't allow me to suffer more than I'm able to bear. And I understand it, Lord, but right now, I'm in a tight right now, and I'm not sure about how to get out of this mess. And why am I at the breaking point? I'm convinced of the most trying of all spiritual battles take place in the mind of the believer. You see, many Christians endure tremendous mental anguishes, battling through, watch this, thoughts of oppression and things that give you to think that you're not Christ-like. You see, they can't shake the depressing memories of their past, and the enemy always wants to paint that picture of who you was and how you are not any good anymore. They end up feeling not worthy of feeling God's blessings in their lives. I don't have the answer for all the reasons why we as believers suffer much. But what I do know, and I know this for certain, once your heart is set to seek the Lord, determining to lay, watch this, hold of his promises, you become a target. So if I can tell you this morning to come a little closer, can I tell you if nobody else has told you? One of the main reasons is you have now become a threat to not only the enemy, but to everything that he's connected with. You've become a threat to not only him, but his friends. You become a threat to everybody that's in everything and every spirit that's associated with him. But beloved, there comes a time in every believer's life when he or she faces a choice. You can remain lukewarm in your faith. You can a line and follow Jesus with all of your heart. Whenever we choose to lay hold of Christ fully, we stir up the bowels of hell. Let me help somebody with this morning. Yes, hell is real. Can I just tell you this morning? Hell is real. And you see, to understand that Satan sends his demonic hordes and unleashes hell's wrath in our lives, in your life. A Barney survey reveals that 70% of people who claim to be born again don't consider their walk with God to be the most serious and the most important thing in their lives. Can I just give you some knowledge this morning? This is an absolute tragedy on one hand. Yet it tells us why Satan is so stirred by the small minority who set themselves apart for Jesus Christ. You see, the devil recognizes something in every devoted believer. The enemy sees something in you. Sometimes you don't even see yourself. Come a little closer this morning. Can I tell you as a believer, you have value? Can I tell you as a believer, you are valuable? Not only just to you, but to everything that's connected to you. If you understood the generations that was connected to you, you go ahead and tell the enemy, you know what? I'm going to kick off both shoes, take my cufflinks off, my bow tie, because I'm in this for the long haul. Because this right here goes now to my great-grands and my great-grand-grands. This is much larger than me. So for me to understand that he's not just after you, he's after, watch this, what's connected to you. Some things that's absolutely destructive to his kingdom is you. You are absolutely destructive to the enemy's camp. It happens when a child of God resolves to trust the Lord through everything. Draw near to him in spite of your pain and difficulties. Satan realizes such a believer, Christian, is going to win others to Jesus. So watch this now. It's big, y'all, because if I stand my ground, see, he no longer, he not only have to worry about my ground, but he got to worry about the ground the Lord then gave me to walk on. He's got to worry about, watch this, that generation that I had not gotten to yet. He's got to watch this, worry about me now witnessing to his chief servant. He's got to worry now, am I going to take his MVP? So he's worried now. So now that makes me an even bigger target. Why? Because you've got something now. Watch this. You're messing with me and you're messing with my stuff. You see, I know now that I just like to write you a ticket and send you on down your way. But you won't just leave like that. You want to go out and talk about the Lord and witnessing in your house and witnessing in Walmart. You want to tell folk in the corner about Jesus Christ. Me and you got a problem. I've got a problem with you. And guess what? I'm going to let you know about it because I'm going to put some hell in your life. I'm gonna tell your children to begin to act up, your finances to go. I'm gonna send everything I can because you can create some problems over in this camp, and I don't need them kind of problems. See, I'm going to look good right now. You know, the world is wanting to worship everything but Jesus the Christ. So right now I'm in the driver's seat. I'm making some ground. They're still looking at cars and and money and all this. So I'm making some ground in their mind. Watch this. When Satan sees that kind of faith, he knows the foundations of hell is getting ready to be shaken. If you get nothing else today, get this. So he commands his principalities to abandon. Y'all get this morning. Their usual Christian posts that are not just doing anything but going through motion. See, at some point, he'll look at you and where you are, and he'll say, well, you're not doing anything with the word that you got inside of you. You're not doing anything with the gift that I've birthed in you. But I look across the way and Ohio over there, it's witnesses, and he's doing this. But look, y'all check out on them over here because they ain't doing nothing no way. And go over here where they doing something and try to raise as much hell as you possibly can. So be careful when the enemy stops fooling with you. Be careful when your expectation begin. Now be careful. Because as long as you're a threat, watch this. They don't leave, watch this, Stephen Curry unguarded in the NBA. Why? Because he's a threat. Even when he just touched the ball, he's a threat. You see, he won't leave you alone when you are a threat. He'll keep somebody always trying to pull you down, say something to you, make you curse them out, run them off, whatever the case is. Why? Because you're always a threat. You are always a threat. When you open your mouth, the anointing just rolls off your lips. When you pray for folk, stuff begin to fall off and they begin to be delivered. Yes, you are valuable. So that means that your connection has made you a target. As I said, foundation for the text this morning, the 123rd numbers of Psalms, God's persecuted people ask for help as they approach the earthly throne of Yahweh. They lifted up their eyes to the Lord, watch this, heavenly throne. They prayed for mercy, grace, favor, so they can continue their journey into God's presence. You see, Psalms 123 is not a celebration. Read it when you get home. It is a song of humiliation, or more accurately, a plea to be delivered from humiliation that we've experienced along the way on this pilgrimage. You see, sometimes you are, watch this, getting ostracized because of the team you're on. Sometimes it don't have nothing to do with you. It's who you connected to. Sometimes, watch this, you don't see it, but you find yourself speaking and you find yourself just talking about and telling somebody about him in casual conversation. Sometimes to understand that if you'll just be who you are, he'll be all that you need. Just be who you are. You don't have to try to put on nothing, no hair. Don't take none off. Just be who you are. And when you who you are, then the Lord has something to work with then. You see, it's easy for him to work with what you allow him to work with. You don't restrict him. You don't try to compartmentalize him and tell him, well, I got this room off limit. I got that room off limits. But when you allow him to be all that he is, he'll be that. I know there are a few of us this morning that can testify. My connection seems like it's made me more than just a target. Lord, does he have anybody else to fool with? I mean, is anybody else's house on the street? You see, sometimes God's despised people turn to the Lord in response to persecution by their enemies. You see, they trusted God to bestow the mercy they needed to endure. Watch this, the ridicule. When God's people were beaten down by the adversaries, constant taunts, they lifted their eyes. They lifted their eyes to the heavens, far above the struggles and the injustices of this sinful world. Watch this. The text is giving us to understand that you can put yourself above circumstances. But it's a mental thing. Watch this. Your eyes cannot formulate what the world is saying, what the world wants you to see. Your heart has to be the discerner. You've got to be able to understand that these are my circumstances, but I'm above them. This is what I got to deal with, but I'm going to deal with it because I've got the necessary help to help me deal with it. At some point, you just got to tell the enemy, come on in, because this fight here is not my fight, but I'm going to take you to the ring where it's being fought. To understand it, and to understand, even though the wicked deny him, the God of heaven sees all, knows all, and rules over all. He is awesome in power, and none can escape his judgment. I know it's hard to press sometimes. It's hard to make sense of all the stuff the believer goes through, all the things that he allows us to go through. But can you begin to wrap your head around this one fact? Listen to me this morning. It's not how well you keep it together. It's not because how well you walk through the fire. It's not because of what you're wearing or what you're driving. But can I summons you this morning and tell you, your connection made you the number one target. Here it is. You see, everybody becomes a target because when you play on this team, then guess what? You become a target now. I'm not going to leave the team, watch this, and stop messing with the team because y'all got a few more on the team. I'm not going to leave the team messing with the team because y'all mighty prayers, y'all mighty warriors. You know why? Because all I need is a crack in the door for one, and I can get in the ear. Guess what? And then I can begin to fester in that one. I can begin to work, watch this, from the inside. And when I'm able to work from the inside, I have a better result. See, be careful because everybody looks for him to have horns on his head and wear the robe that we all give him to be betrayed. But the enemy comes in word. He comes in situations. He comes in all shapes, sizes, and colors. He comes in being able to catch your eye with the wrong thing. He comes in being able to catch your ear with the wrong word. He comes in nice cars and big house, all kind of ways. So to understand, watch this, you still a target. It's not because of everything that you've got going on. The enemy don't care about Prada, Gucci, Louis Vuitton. Your adversary don't want what's on the outside. I can't do nothing with your product. I can't carry your purse. I want what's in your purse. I can't do anything with that nice outfit you got on. I need what's wearing the outfit. You see, what's wearing the outfit is more valuable to me than the outfit. You see, the outfit, watch this. You're going to wash it, wrinkle it, it's going to grow old. Now, if I can get on the inside to get you on the team, I can work, watch this, when you ain't in the clothes. I can work, watch this, when you don't have the product. I can work now whenever you go, wherever you go. So to understand, watch this, y'all, we're talking about connections. And you being a target, be careful because you got to know what you're looking at. So to understand it, he wants you and I to absorb the assignment. Watch this. He wants to absorb the assignment that's been placed on the inside of you. Hear me today. Can I just teach you like I feel? Because what you're going to birth is so big. The answer is mind-boggling. What you're carrying, what you're pregnant with is so large that he knows that if he allows you to birth it, it's going to be the solution to his next problem. He understands that with you being pregnant, watch this, then you are now not only a threat, but you become a threat to everything that's connected to him. Watch me today. I'm almost done. He's looking for what's in you. What I'm about to tell you is not going to make you shout this morning, but I have to tell you anyway. You've got to grow to the place of maturity where you have to, watch this, have the heart and the mind to say, listen to me today. I'm okay with being a target. I'm okay with having to go through some hell. I'm okay with having to go through, watch this, things I didn't sign on for. I'm okay that you chose me instead of my child. I'm okay that you chose to mess with me. Why? Because I believe and I know that I'm equipped with what it is that God has given me. Watch this, to defeat you. If I can protect you from my house, I'm the one you want. You know how you open up the door, I'm the one you're looking for. You see, because watch this, I signed on for this one. Better than that, as I've matured over the years, my understanding has gotten better. That's my expectation when I signed on. See, I've got an expectation now that you coming. Watch this. I'm going to make sure my address on my door, you can read it. Why? Because if I can use prayer to get to my neighbor's house, I don't want you to get the address mixed up. I want you to come on to my house. If I can understand as I grow in maturity that your connection, watch this, not only made you a target, but it's going to keep you being a target. So you've got to have the mind that I'm looking for a break. You know, you've got to have the mind that the Lord is going to give me the peace that I need when I need it. I'm not going to sit down on my watch. He'll give me rest when I need rest. I've just got to stay on my post. See, I can't call in sick. I'll take days off. I've got to be able to stand my post. I'm okay with being the target. I'm okay with, watch this, him throwing his fiery darts at me because I've got some help. And watch this, as I begin to get okay with it, I begin to grow. Watch this, when this dart comes and he gives me what it is that I need to defeat it. See, I become better with the mindset now that I'm the target, but I have what it is that I need to defeat. Watch this, everything the enemy throws my way. The U.S. Postal Service used to have a motto: rain, sleet, or snow won't stop us from delivering. We coming. To understand it, that there are things that's going to try to beset you in life. There's things that's going to try to beset your very house, your very finances, you for that matter. But to understand that it's not personal, It doesn't have anything to do with what side of the town I live on. It's got everything to do with who I say that I believe in and I trust in. As I hurry on, the writer encourages us in verse number 2, because of God's person and power, we are to be totally dependent upon him. You see, the weary worshiper also knew, listen to me today, that the Lord cared for them deeply. See, it's one thing that the enemy to have you in a bad place. It's another thing for you to start thinking now about this bad place. So I'm in this tight place, as I was talking about earlier, and I begin to think that the place is not so tight, then I can begin to understand that the Lord is in that place with me. I was in the attic the other day and told one of the helpers, I says, listen to me. The first thing I need you to do is tell your mind that it's not hot in this attic. I said, just go ahead and tell yourself that it's not hot in this attic. That's going to be our mindset. I said, when you looking at me and I'm looking at you, we dropping sweat, we just going to look at each other and say, it's not that hot. Because if we begin to think about how hot it really is, we begin to back up a little bit, want to get down. Sometimes you just got to tell yourself that my connection gave me to be the person for this assignment, to be the person that's going to stay in low gear. I may not be able to move into second gear, but if I can just stay in low gear and keep moving forward, I'm good. Church, I'm almost done. They humbly acknowledged that they were totally dependent upon him. In the same way that the servant looked to their master hand and the maid looked to their mistress hand, people look to God for help. It's in the text. Why? Don't miss it. It's right here in the text. Because he is the Lord your God, your only hope for mercy. He alone can meet your need. Can you say that about anything else in life? Nothing. Can you say that? Notice the emphasis upon the text, the hand in the text. Watch this as I cut across. The servant receives from his master's hand. The maid receives from the mistress' hand. The employees had now, watch this, nowhere else to turn for the provision they needed. The Lord has everything that you're in need of, but you've got to make a conscious decision that you're going to eat from his hand. You've got to make a conscious choice that his hand is going to supply me with everything that I need. You've got to understand that not only does it supply me, but it helps navigate me. It gives me everything that I need if I'll just continue to eat from his hand, continue to trust his hand. But then there's another look at the hand, because sometimes the hand will navigate you down paths that you're not sure about. Sometimes the hand will lead you to places in life that you can't fathom in your mind, so you decide that I'm not going today. Sometimes the hand will lead you to a place of the worst misunderstanding that you could have. But because if he knew that you had an idea about what was going to happen, then you will start to facilitate decisions as you went on your own. You see, sometimes he can't give it to you because he already knows you're going to take it and process it. I'm done. Watch this. Expect to be a target for your family. Expect to be a target for your friends, your neighbors, your associates. Hear me today. Expect that if you stand up for Christ, you're going to stand out. That has to be an expectation. It has to be a realistic expectation. Because let me tell you why. It's all I can do sometimes just to lift my eyes. The lifting of the eyes implies faith. Listen to me. And a confident persuasion that God is ready and willing to help. So the implication in the text gives you and I as believers to understand that I can't see the hand without the eyes. And when I watch this, take the eyes and I use them and keep them on the hand, I'm confident I'm assured that everything I need, watch this, is already supplied. Why? Because he's proof positive. This same hand that I'm watching now was the same hand that brought me out of that. It was the same hand that brought me out of this. It was the same hand that delivered me from drugs. It was the same hand that sent me home. It was the same hand, watch this, that took my child and raised him above everything the doctor said was going to happen. It was the same hand, watch this, that helped me understand that the hand is much bigger than me. But the hand has everything that I need. If I can just keep the eyes on the hand, I can realize that everything I need is already in the hand. The very lifting of the bodily eyes toward heaven is an expression of inward trust. It's an expression that gives me to understand. Here's your shout. The psalmist in effect says, Lord, I expect relief from you. Lord, I expect you to be fully, watch right this, righteous and fulfill thy promises. Why do you expect that, believer? Because it's the same hand that dropped manna from heaven. It's the same hand that while you were looking back, I was working in front and part of the Red Sea. It's the same hand that told you to lay the 12 thorns across the river so you'll remember always who brought you across. It was the same hand. It was the same hand that gave me to be able to speak to the demonic, watch this, demon and cast them out. It was the same hand that I was able, watch this, to depend on and tell the Lord I'm in need. And guess what? My jaws got full and everything was supplied. It was the same hand. It was the same hand that was able to supply not only what you needed, but it was the same hand that gave it in abundance. It was the same hand. Let me send you with this. I'm done. Even though you can't see it, doesn't mean it's not there. Lord, the substance of my hope is you. It has been you. But Lord, the evidence is that when I thought there was no way out, you brought me out. I couldn't see it. But my hope said that it was going to produce evidence. So I didn't see how it was going to come. But the evidence is this, that the situation, circumstance that I was in, I'm no longer there, and I didn't do it on my own. What more evidence do you need? That I'm working it out while you're trying to figure it out. But see, I'm not going to leave anything out. I'm going to make sure that all the T's are crossed and all the I's are dotted. But I'm so glad, church. The psalmist tells us as we close in verse 3 and 4, when my connection makes me a target, I can look to you for mercy and deliverance. I don't have to, watch this, try to keep beating the situation to forgive me. I don't have to keep beating, watch the circumstance. I don't have to wait for people to release me, deliver me. I can simply, watch this, understand that the Lord looked upon me with favor and delivered me out of this and that. People will hold you in bondage. People don't have your deliverance. Don't let the situation make you the target that you wasn't meant to be. The psalmist said, I'm not asking you, Lord, to rapture heaven. But if you'll just whisper into my hearing canal and navigate me through and around the traps of the enemy. As we're traveling this tedious journey, there's going to be things, people, circumstances, problems that even in my ability to see and look, sometimes I won't recognize. But if I'll look, watch this, to you and the hand, your super on top of my natural will give me to see it. And then you'll give me how to even navigate around it. You'll teach me how to go in and out before people. Simply because, watch this, y'all, of my connection. I'm done. You see, the text gives us to understand that the Israelites were in contempt. But if you can take your sanctified imagination and read the text, just like they became a target for the enemy and for foes, they were still the apple of God's eye. So when the enemy began to fight and continues to fight, just remember that every time he throws, he may or may not get a bullseye. Every time the Lord speaks, every time the Lord leads, every time the Lord gives directives, it's always a bullseye. He's never going to miss. He's unable to miss. So on one hand, I am, watch this, a target. But on the other hand, I'm a bullseye for him. I become a target on one side because of the good that I'm doing from the other side. Watch this. The side that I'm doing good on, the apple of my eye side, gives me now to not only have the ability, the strength, the encouragement, and watch this, the will to keep being a target. But it gives me now to be protected. You see, because as long as I'm, watch this, protected, I don't mind being the target. Sometimes it's going to hit you, but it's not going to. Sometimes it's going to knock you down, but you'll have the strength to back up. So to understand that my connection made me what I am, and that's a target for the other side, what do I sign on? For the good that I've done. For, watch this, for the answered prayers, for those that's prayed for me, for the one that I led to Christ, that's helped his entire family or her family, for the one that I talked out of suicide, for the one I gave a word of encouragement, watch this, to not do whatever it is that he was doing. I'll take that. I'll take it. Because if that is the dividend from me having to go through some things in life, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. I'm done. So can you understand sometimes it's not a bad thing to be a target? I'll leave you with this morning. Whenever the enemy shifts the army from where you are to a place or person that is fighting with everything, you have a problem. I have a problem. And the reason is because if your absence doesn't create, watch this, a problem with you being absent, your presence was never felt. So don't think of it. Oh, I'm glad he got off me. No, be careful. Because if my absence wasn't missed, didn't even notice, then it means the value that I had there was not even felt. But if your absence is felt, woo, you better tell somebody. He's got to say, you know what? Time out. Wait. Send him back over here. Because watch this. There's too much happening here now. The word is going too far now. People are being saved. People are being told about Jesus the Christ. Why? Because my presence is known. God bless you. God keep you. Facebook family, thank you for joining live with us today. Our prayer is that if you're not connected, then you will take this opportunity today and get connected. Get connected with Jesus the Christ, the Savior. The Bible teaches that for us you don't have to change who you are. You can't do it. You don't have the ability, because if you did, you would have already done it. But the Bible teaches us that if we're able to believe in our heart and confess with our mouth that Jesus, the Savior, was marched up a hill called Calvary, stretched wide, hung on an old rugged piece of wood, died there with his head in the locks of his shoulders, was taken down and put in a tomb that was temporary, and raised on the third day morning. The Bible says if you can believe that, make that public profession, salvation comes unto you. So if that is this morning, you can do it right where you sit. God bless you. God keep you. Our prayer is something that we've said, something that you've seen, will give you to come back and view with us again on next Sunday. God bless you. God keep you.